Some people see the past, some people live in the present, some people imagine the future. But what if someone remembered it? I'm Phantom Detective, and this is the case of a child who claimed to remember tomorrow. A story where prediction was not a gift, but a symptom of something far more disturbing. Level 1. The drawings. It started with ordinary sketchbooks, nothing unusual about them. Cheap paper, colored pencils, a quiet young girl who spent hours drawing instead of playing with other children. Her parents believed she simply had an active imagination, but her drawings were strangely specific. Not fantasy, not monsters, not cartoons. Instead, highways littered with twisted vehicles, burning homes viewed from impossible angles, people standing beneath streetlights moments before disappearing forever. Every page looked less like art and more like evidence. One drawing showed a bright red sedan crushed beneath the highway barrier. The road sign in the background matched a real intersection, nearly 30 miles away. 3 days later, that exact accident occurred. The same model of car, the same damaged barrier, even the weather looked identical. Another sketch showed flames pouring from a kitchen window while firefighters struggled outside. A week later, investigators compared photographs from a house fire to the girl's notebook. The similarities were almost impossible to ignore. The furniture, the broken window, even the position of the smoke. Then came the missing people. One page showed a man walking toward an old bridge at sunset. There were no names, only a single sentence written beneath the drawing: "He never comes back." 4 days later, a missing person report described the same man last seen near that bridge. Police initially dismissed everything as coincidence. Children draw thousands of pictures. Eventually, some are bound to resemble real events. But then the pattern refused to stop. Every new drawing became another real tragedy waiting to happen. Investigators quietly began collecting copies of her notebooks. When a new sketch appeared, officers attempted to identify the location before anything happened. Sometimes they found it, sometimes they arrived hours early. They searched, waited, prepared, yet every single time, the event still happened, as though the drawing wasn't warning them. It was documenting something that could never be changed. No matter how quickly they responded, they were always too late. Level 2. The Visitor. When detectives finally interviewed the girl, they expected elaborate stories instead. She answered every question calmly. She wasn't frightened. She wasn't confused. She simply believed everyone already knew. When asked where the drawings came from, she said they weren't hers. Someone showed them to her. A visitor. According to the girl, he arrived only after midnight. No footsteps, no opening doors, no windows. He simply appeared beside her bed, tall, thin, always wearing the same dark coat, and on his left wrist, a broken watch. His hands never moved. His cracked glass reflected light that wasn't there. The stranger never introduced himself, never threatened her, never smiled. He simply spoke in a tired voice. Every conversation sounded less like a prediction and more like someone reading aloud from a book. He described accidents before they occurred, names before they appeared in newspapers, places before police tape surrounded them. The girl said he never looked surprised by anything, almost as if he'd already lived through every event. Detectives asked if the man was dangerous. She thought for a long moment before answering. No, he just looks sad, like he's already watched everything happen. One investigator asked the question everyone else avoided. "What does he want from you?" The girl quietly replied, "He says I'm the only one who still remembers." Then she added something no one could explain. "He says time isn't moving anymore. It's breaking. When detectives pressed for details, she shook her head. I don't think he means it's going to end. I think he means it already did. The room fell silent. Even experienced investigators struggled to dismiss what they had just heard, because by then, too many of her drawings had already become reality. Level 3, the future crime scene. The investigation changed forever after one particular drawing. The sketch was unlike the others. It showed the inside of an abandoned warehouse. A broken ceiling pipe leaked onto the concrete floor. A single chair stood in the center. Beside it, a body. On one wall, someone had painted a date in large black numbers. The strange part wasn't the scene, it was the date. It hadn't happened yet. Believing they might finally prevent one of the tragedies, detectives searched until they located the warehouse. It had been abandoned for years. No electricity, no recent activity, no signs of forced entry. Inside, everything matched the drawing. The leaking pipe, the chair, the stains, even the date already painted across the wall. Except the body wasn't there, at least not yet. As officers searched deeper into the building, they discovered something impossible. Boxes filled with police reports. Every document described crimes that officially hadn't happened. Future timestamps, future evidence numbers, future investigations. There were photographs of people who were still alive, victims who hadn't become victims yet. Crime scene images from places that looked completely untouched. One detective insisted someone was staging an elaborate hoax until they examined the warehouse security system. The building still maintained a backup digital access log. According to its records, someone had entered the warehouse 2 days in the future. Not yesterday, not today. The future. The timestamp couldn't be explained. The hardware couldn't produce that error. Every technician confirmed the system was functioning normally. The investigators left carrying boxes of evidence they shouldn't have possessed, evidence from crimes that technically didn't exist. The case file gained a disturbing internal nickname: not the warehouse, not future evidence, but the crime scene that arrived early. Level 4, the revelation. After the warehouse, the girl's behavior changed. She stopped asking questions, stopped playing, stopped drawing every day. When she finally opened her notebook again, the sketches looked different. They no longer resembled predictions. They looked older, like memories someone had carried for a lifetime. The visitor returned one final night. This time, the girl noticed something she had never seen before. He looked exhausted. Not physically, emotionally, like someone carrying centuries of grief. His broken watch still hadn't moved, but now she understood why. It wasn't broken because time had stopped. It was broken because there was no time left to measure. He finally revealed the truth. The future wasn't being predicted. It had already happened. Human civilization had already reached its final chapter. The oceans had changed. Entire cities had vanished. The last lights had gone dark. Humanity had already experienced its ending. But something impossible happened afterward. Time collapsed. Not forward, backward. Reality began folding into itself. Past, present, future. No longer separated. Instead, moments leaked into one another like shattered glass. Fragments escaped. Echoes survived. Most people experienced them as déjà vu. Dreams, strange feelings they couldn't explain. But the girl, she remembered them clearly. She wasn't seeing tomorrow. She was remembering yesterday, except yesterday belonged to the future. Every disaster she drew, every death, every disappearance, every fire had already occurred. She wasn't issuing warnings. She was recalling history. History that the rest of humanity hadn't lived through yet. The visitor knelt beside her one last time. Then he whispered something that investigators would only learn after reading her final notebook. Stop drawing. The next page isn't another memory, it's the last one. Final thing anyone will ever remember. The next morning, the visitor never returned. Neither did the girl's ability. She never drew another prediction again. Only blank pages remained, as though whatever timeline had reached her had finally run out of memories. The girl opened her sketchbook one last time. Her hand moved without hesitation. No imagination, no uncertainty, just recognition. She began to draw something she had already seen, something she already remembered, something that had already happened. And as the pencil touched the paper, she whispered a single line. We're all in it this time. I am Phantom Detective. And this case was never about the future. It was about what remains after it ends.